morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, July 25th, 2025. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Friday, everyone. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame right now. We are in full-on Fed mode right now. Wait and see for the Fed. Next week, we get the two-day FOMC market meetings there, the FOMC Federal Open Market Committee meetings there. Two-day meetings. Wednesday is the Fed day there, where on Wednesday they release the statement, the interest rate decision, and the press conference that follows. Wednesday afternoon could be a big day there. Thursday could be a big day. Friday, and then that takes us into the beginning of August. So we are coming into the last few days here before big time potential volatility hits the market. We've been in a big time melt up phase this entire way. As I've noted before, this market continues to go up until proven otherwise, and until we get that big, huge blow off top or rejection day. And this moment is kind of the same thing we talked about on this side of the chart when we had been selling off. I mentioned we need that capitulation day. Can we get that final capitulation day, and then the next day will be a day one entry? This is the same thing. Do we get a day one rejection? Do we get a day one blow off? What do we get up here that's going to end this move? At some point, it may be coming sooner than later. This red developing signal right there, that's 3 standard deviations above VWAP right there for the year. So we are getting overvalued from a severe undervalued signal here. So the entire move has played out. We pretty much have done most of this move. We may get a little bit more upside here, but we are coming into the final week where things could get pretty hairy finally. So again, continue to take profits on those positions where it is appropriate. Right now, looking at the current day right now, we have a 2-day range that's developed. I mentioned in our room here that we could see a low range outside day down first, maybe if we test the edge. And then once we get down here below the low, it's an opportunity to bring it back up. Outside day up, perhaps. 2-day narrow range could develop. Today, we weren't looking for a whole lot of range for the day. 35 points, somewhere in the 30 to 40 point range. So if the high is in right now, at least near term, for the intraday here, that high is 21 minus 35, and it's taking you into the 90s there. So somewhere in the mid 90s here could be that target on the other side of the range. And if we get down there to the lows here, again, it could bounce right back up. So we could be trading range bound here. Bulls will still look to defend into any kind of morning weakness for a snapback, and it could be a relatively quiet low range day. Again, 30 to 40 points of range would be about a good amount. If we get something less than that, it's going to be a very, very quiet day. So for the most part, anticipating range bound price action. We do have numbers coming out, core durable goods orders out. It looks like the month-over-month level is minus 9.3%. The forecast was minus 10.4%. And the month-over-month core durable goods order here, 0.2% versus 0.1% estimate. So right now, numbers out and still fairly quiet. So the anticipation is a 2-day compression here going into the weekend. Look to fade the edges with an upward bias as we head into next week's Fed. All right, looking at the NQ, similar price action out of the NQ, super narrow price action. The ES is trading 40% of average range. This one's trading 41%. Same thing, 2-day compression. It's likely to be very, very range bound here today. Since we are getting the early failed high that's developed here, the expectation is we will kind of rotate into the previous session's low at some point. If we do, again, in this zone, could be an opportunity to trap it and bring it right back up, and mostly stay in the range heading into the weekend. This one also reaching some pretty overvalued levels here against value. So this is value down here, 27.94. This is the 200-day moving average at 21.039. This is 3 standard deviations above value. So we are currently sitting above value at the moment. And again, any failure to hold the top of that third standard here will indicate kind of a rotation that can bring us back toward value below at some point. So again, right now, melt up phase could be coming a little bit closer to the end here, but not anticipating any kind of failure here ahead of next Wednesday. All right, looking at crude oil, this one right now up about a half of 1%, 0.55 of 1% here. You can see it continues to hold the previous quarter's close. That level still intact around 70. This market is not really moving, but one thing we have noted is after up days, we have seen kind of a swift recovery back down. So you see an up day here, back down, an up day here, back down, a little swing move back down. We had an update yesterday here, starting to fail at the previous session's high. Does this bring us back into the midpoint and maybe a bit lower today? So again, keeping an eye on crude here. Not a whole lot to do here, but after strength, this thing has been getting pushed back down. Looking at gold futures, this one is down 1%. This is a massive reversal now. This is a massive reversal. We started the week on optimism here. Last Friday, we said, man, if we can get a big push for the week, it could be a week one or a day one breakout that takes us way higher. We just have to watch 34.50. And 34.50 was the high. Wednesday failed new high and a massive turnaround. This is now a huge developing rejection in the weekly time frame. I know we don't usually go weekly time frame here for the pre-market videos, but that right there is significant, and that rejection could easily open up the next push into recent lows 31.20 and back toward that yearly VWAP. So this is a massive developing rejection right now. It's taken the entire week to do this. To do that at the 34.50 level again is significant. But at the same time, that level right there and all of these levels here offer the opportunity for a massive breakout down the road. It's not happening now. This rejection will get us down a bit. Down the road here, it will break and go at some point here. That's the expectation, especially given the ascending range. All right, looking at the YM. This YM here, let's go back down to the daily time frame here. Inside day, narrow range, 133 points of range. That's just 31% of ADR. Again, this goes to the point that we were likely going to see some compression here early in the week and to finish the week. And the one day of volatility might be Wednesday afternoon on Microsoft and Tesla earnings. All of that blueprint came last Friday in our afternoon trading session before the weekend. And of course, it's kind of played out in that way. And the expectation, again, is if it's going to play out in the way that we kind of anticipated here, it's playing out in accordance to kind of how it regularly trades ahead of Fed. So it's kind of in that wait and see mode. So again, today, trading range day, if we did drop into, say, 44.7, it could be an opportunity to bring it back up. 44.8 even could be a zone. So again, watch down below. There could be one good bounce. And not anticipating a whole lot of range today. I mean, 350 points would be the highest end, but to even get 300 would be pretty significant right now based on how much compression we've seen so far. All right, Bitcoin down 2 1/3% right now. This one here seeing a little bit of a pullback within the range. It's been up a day, down a day. Up a day, down a day within this range, back and forth, back and forth. Today's the down a day. It just hit the low. It's not going below 115, 116 here. This is a very clear range. We can now build out probably an 8 or 10 day range out of this thing that's going to point us to over 15, 16,000 points, but closing in on 20,000 points. The next move here, the next breakout, could be a 15 to 20,000 point move. And this pullback, this early drop here, in the best case scenario, could be the failed low that starts to snap us back up next week, especially on Fed. So this thing right here, building energy, the anticipation is for 15 to 20,000 point move up ahead. Once we're ready to go, we're still building that energy. Could be big. Ethereum here down 0.5% right now, still trading around that 3,800 level. This failed new low was great, closed through the mid today. Pullback and bounce. That was the expectation for today. And it's already kind of played out in overnight trading. Good little V reversal. But can we push through 38? The expectation is this compression right here after this move gets us one last ditch effort in the 4,000 and 4,200. That's going to be the final profit taking zone from the recent entries here, much lower. So again, can we get that move? This thing has enough energy here to really get us there, and not just get us there, it has the potential to really push through 4,200 for the first time in a meaningful way in several years. Can it really do that right now? We'll see. But with the market coming into a bit of a topping pattern, maybe this next move gets us a decent pullback where we can load up for the next move. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out here heading into a Friday edition. Please join us in the trading room. Links below. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.